Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of our isolated city here in City Skylines. But today guys, we're going to be beginning to build a brand new industry. I also want to place down for the first time in this isolated city some actual industry zoning, which I haven't done just yet, which I think will be quite important to making sure that all of our industry and warehouses have all of the products needed to create their own individual products. And as always guys, if you enjoy this, make sure you smash that like button down below. If you are new around here, make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when that next episode does come out. But we are back boys, and the island's looking so damn beautiful, may I add. So damn beautiful. This tropical, I won't really class it as tropical, but imagine like you just came across this in the middle of the ocean and this was the metropolis that you kind of discovered. Damn, there's such an advanced society. But anyway, I want to build a new industry and I want to kind of focus on this end of this peninsula here. And I want to build an ore industry. Reason for it being, we only have oil and fishing. I want to start getting more and more of the other different products so we can start building some of the unique factories. But also it's going to allow me to get more of the industries in. So like for this thing I've never done as well, like the oil industry, I don't have the actual zoning for oil industry. And what I mean by that is if I go to zone and place this down, what I can do if I create a region, I can then designate it to being the oil industry. Which will then kind of create its own different types of products, and hopefully some of these warehouses that are screaming for natural resources kind of slow down a little bit. So what we'll do, we'll first create a little bit of a zone first, and I'll kind of go around here anyway. So anything I place within here in terms of industrial right now will 100% be oil zoning. So if I then designate this, which is just here to be the oil, so any industrial zone that I place down will exactly be that. So I don't want to go too crazy because at the end of the day, it will cause a lot of traffic issues. So we got to be quite, smart in terms of where we place it. Now we do have a nice little area here that we can utilize. So I'll probably go back to about half of it, about there. And I'll do half of it here as well. So kind of some 4 zones there, kind of bring it down here with 2. Now, I know it's quite heavily in that one particular area, but I've still got all of this space around here to kind of implement bits and bobs in as well. And we'll kind of do some areas around here where we can kind of spread it, but we'll just begin here and just initially see what type of demands we can get from this area. So like I said before, I'm going to do like little pockets of it here and there, which I think will be quite handy for us. We're actually going to do a nice little pocket right now. There's some little space just over here. Do a few little just there. And it'll just naturally all build up. So this in itself now building up, we'll have a little fast forward to kind of get it done. This turns out it's going to be Bob's plastic bags. Bob is making some plastic bags right here. That's kind of funny, isn't it? Which will kind of start making this here. Even though it's got 190 people using it a week, we'll bring even more people over here because your boy Bob needs workers. And he's only got 9 so far out of the 24. And right next door to Bob's plastic bags is... Wait, hold on. Bob's plastic bags is expanded already? Yo, Bob, how many plastic bags are you selling right now to afford 2 factories? You need to calm down, sir. You need to calm down. Over here, we had the Goods from Oil Limited. We have Bob's back again. Oh my goodness me, Bob, you're on fire, dude. Calm down. So anyway, I want to focus on this area. So we'll let that little oil kind of section kind of grow and we'll build from that. So first things first then, we got to think about the logistics of getting the goods in and out. Now, right now we have the train line coming through. What I'm probably going to end up doing is making this train line, instead of connect straight in, just completely bypass it to bring it down. And then we'll have like an additional connection to link in for this to be connected to the same line. So we can get some trains around here for some imports and exports. So with that said, I'm going to create a connection first here. We're going to run a 4-lane road up, and that 4-lane road is going to kind of go down here, and eventually this one will kind of connect down to this one too, because I feel like I'm going to build the farming industry in the middle. Ooh, excitement, guys, excitement. So let's first start with this then, and we'll... Do I utilize the tree ones? I know it looks pretty and all that kind of jazz. Yes, we'll go with the ones with the trees, even though we're going to have some pollution. And to some extent, we'll also come off by a... Where's the 30 mark? Let me try and get a 30 mark here off this. Right, which would be just there. So if I just move along by a 10. So that's going to run parallel by 30 off on the highway. So that's going to go down to here, but I reckon then what I do is come out by 20 and then just kind of bring it to here. Now here at some point when I do start to build with this area, we'll stick a roundabout there just kind of smoothing it all off. Now what I'm going to do right now is delete back a couple. I'm going to create a nice little sweet little bend just to kind of bring us in, because I want to utilize both sides and I want to kind of split the traffic and make it a little bit easier for them to maintain the space in which they're running. So I could do a nice little bend like that, or I could make the bend just a tad bit longer, so we have a little bit of a straight bit there, which we'll probably do. And then where we had this kind of run to the end just here, we'll kind of do something very similar over here. So this is going to kind of keep continuing. Alright, and I'll bring it to about there. And then we'll just kind of end it all off with the rural road, which will link to this. So how we did over there, we just kind of like naturally ended it. And if I do an 11 here, and if I bring it down by, we'll do it by a 30. And this is just how we're naturally going to end this area here. Where this will then pump off and then somewhat bend into this. So that can go down, we'll bring this to about here. Bring that to about there. And I ain't going to mess about. Connection tool it to bring them both together. So on a nice little bend. Beautiful, guys. Absolutely beautiful. So that's how we're going to run this area. Pretty sweet, understandable, and we'll try and spread it throughout all of this, and we'll combine the roads as well so they're all kind of connect up. So we are going to need to place down some ore, obviously, but we also need to figure out how big these buildings are going to be that I need to place down. They're going to be quite huge, don't get me wrong, they're going to be quite huge. So for the ore industry, obviously we've got the main building, which is actually not too bad, okay. The worker barracks is, again, pretty reasonable, okay. It's just the machinery right now. So the biggest, is this the biggest underground ore? I think the biggest one's this one. Damn, that's huge. So we are producing the ores, and then we have the factories. We have the one that does that creates the glass, which is, okay, decent size. And we have the ones that produced the metals, which that's a pretty decent sized one. Okay. Alright, we gotcha. We gotcha. So let's try and figure this out, because I want to try and reverse engineer this industry. So we need, if I take a look at the oil industry, we need the ability to have the imports and exports coming in and out. And then we need, like we got over here, all the buildings that produce the goods. And then all the buildings, even down here, that produce the raw oil. So we kind of need to do something similar to this, where I might do all the raw ore over here that gets produced and bring it down here to where we have the factories, and I'm going to set up an import-export maybe around here. Now, there's two ways in which I can look at this. I could kill two birds with one stone and build an outer shipping export area. So I know a lot of you guys last episode mentioned about me doing some outer loops for, well, placing down the harbours on the outer section. And while that is a good idea, I kind of wanted it all in the middle. Just because for the, you know, for the just the fun of seeing them navigate through the kind of waterways that I created. But I can place one down here, and I can hook it to the train line, and it will skedoodle out. Now, if I did that, right, we've got to make sure then that we're going to be able to uphold and handle the amount of traffic coming in and out, because that's going to be on the outer island. That's going to be a quicker one than this one. So, but the train length is going to be a lot different. So will they pick this one because the train length is going to be longer to get to the main line? Right, anyway, I'm talking jibber jabber. So, like I said, I'm going to reverse engineer it. We're going to start with the exports and then work our way backwards. So, with that said, we are going to try and bring something down to here. And we got to pick a little section that we're going to run with. So, if this did connect all the way up, it's a case of where we would want to create the snap. So, if I kind of bring this down first, so we're doing 30 by 30s. And then do another 30 there. Now, if that was treated as the one that is going to bend up, so if I do a 10, and if I do a 10 just there, if these bent together to make that run through, which will then lead us down. Let's go to, all right, let's go just to here for now. Down to here, where we'll kind of split the difference and have our harbour here. So if I did a 10 by 10, we'll build this off this and we'll create bends. I'm just trying to get the length of where I can place the actual harbour down. So shipping, and then we need to grab this one, and that's how I want to pull it. So that is kind of smack bang in the middle. Boom. Beautiful. Right, I'll turn it off real quick in case we do have any issues, and at some point I will kind of do like an edging around it for the sea walls, so nothing too crazy does go on. Now if I delete you, and can I get that additional one? I might have to unhook the road first. Unhook. Right, we'll just utilize this. So that today is a 15, so if I come by... actually, we'll just do it ourselves. So a 10 by 10. A 10 by 10. Okay, that's pretty sweet. Connect you all in, and that's how we'll do this little system. So I could delete that road just there, and just to kind of allow us to have this in and out flow, which will be quite nice, but it depends on how crazy this whole area is going to be. So this could also run up and then connect into that run just there. So it's all connected to the fishing industry, which makes them both be able to utilize the in and outs. And then we'll have to also utilize a train connection too. So it's all good to go almost. It's all pretty much good to go. So let me just kind of figure out a train route, which for now I'm just going to place this in. It is what it is. And then we'll figure out the rest of it when time comes. So if I bring this up then to the same level, and just there, I want to connect that to there. So that becomes a 9 by 9. And then straight in. So let's just elevate this real quick. Just to there. And then we'll use the elevation tools right now just to kind of find the perfect balance to have this over the waterfront. So this will just be, you know, a quick, simple fix just to get this connected to the whole network. There's going to be not really much thrown into it, so I'll set up a better variation of this when I know exactly what I'm doing. So we'll go down by a 12. Now, there's going to be a reason behind what I'm about to do next, and I'll explain it in just a second. Alright, bring that to there. And just for the sake of... Well, what happened here? Yo, legit, what happened here? Wait, what's going on? Oh, wait, did you... What in the world is going on right now? What's carrying on? Right, anyway, so, right, let me explain what I'm about to do. Now, I know that this is going to be favoured quite heavily, this import-export route here for the shipping, solely because it's the quickest one to get to from outside of the region. With that, I kind of want to nerf it a little bit. So, where if you go to this one, the line to get to the main drag of train line that goes between the highways, for this one, for example, is down here, bam, 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 done. Now, this one I'm going to technically make a little bit longer. So that's my way of slightly nerfing the distance in which it has to travel to and from to get where it needs to get to. It's just to kind of nerf it a little bit so it's not as powerful, so they still use other ones. I don't want to all of a sudden just use this one and then for them not to use this, or vice versa, other ones around. So that's just my way of kind of slightly balancing it a little bit. So we're going to pause right now because I also need to delete this as well. So if I delete this just to there, and I delete this back, right, we're going to run next to it, which actually might be a tad bit difficult, to be honest with you. Solely because of how this is all set up. So what I might do, because it's because of the road above, makes it a little bit difficult for us. Can I parallel underground? Wait, you can't parallel underground? Oh, that's kind of sad, isn't it? That is kind of sad. Right, my other way to do this right now, real quickly, just run it like this. Right, just do it like that, and then I delete up to where I don't want it, okay? Just a standard system to get this to work. So, going back to this anyway. Alright, Yeah, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen there. Oh no, what's going on, Seniac? What are you doing right now, you damn fool? Oh no, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Alright, there we go. It's a good job I got this in pause mode right now. It's a good job I got this in pause mode. So, back to where I was. Alright, there we go. It's as if nothing ever happened. And then we'll hook this train line up. We'll use the connection tools because I'm going to cause a huge kerfuffle right now, aren't I? Right, why can't I now... Oh, there we go. There we go. I had to hold shift then. That's the first time I've ever had to do that. Right, run that to there. I know it's a slight little bend, but it is what it is. I ain't going to complain too much. And then I run that in just to there. And that's where that is then going to run. So for this then, where is it? It's all the way over here right now. We're going to bring this... What does this button here do? Toggle straight slope. Don't follow terrain. Oh, that's kind of cool, isn't it? Right, we'll bring this up to here. And then where does this stick out for a 10 by 10? 10 by 10. So like I said, this is my way of slightly nerfing this. And also might give us a few additional options when it comes to creating a few extensions if I need to place them above train routes. There we go. Couldn't even English them. And I'm going to run this just simply down here. And that's where we'll do our little connections right now. So, first connection here. Bam, bam. Make this nice and big. And then a connection just here to here. So they're not perfect connections. But that's my way of slightly nerfing it, okay? I know it's long-winded. But your boy's got to do what he's got to do. Now, my other option is... And this might be kind of interesting, but I don't know if this is going to cause many issues. I also think... Hold on. Yeah, I don't think it's causing many issues. I've made this run this way and then cut in. So if they could export from here over to here via train instead of driving all the way. I'll think about that one. I'll think about it. But in reality... I'm now back into play mode, nothing's changed, and we should still be all good to go. I'm still turning this off just in case. Right, let's now start building this industry. So I'm going to need the main building, which because this is going to be a little bit of a dead space over here, I can build the main building here and all the worker barracks right now. So back up to normal. There we go. So if I go there, which should be the 10, right? No. Back by one more. So we'll run this up to 20 and in. So there should be, to be honest with you, not much traffic around this section because this is going to be where we have all the main buildings and all the worker barracks. So place you there, which then creates the manor quarry. And then we need to zone this whole area, which is our industrial area. Boom. Right, let's pause. Oh, there's already ore around here. So I'm going to go quite big just for the sake of, then it gives me the freedom to place the buildings wherever I want. Very good, sir, very good. And let me just get a load of worker barracks down as well. So they're quite a decent size. Get one there, get one there. I'm just trying to dot a couple in. So just add to the old workerage. Not too bad. It's going to need water and power. We'll get that in momentarily. So we've got the basics in. Oh, okay. One more thing I could get in is maybe the maintenance building. How big is that? Yo, that's actually quite a large building. Maybe I could squeeze it just here at the very end. What does that do to our terrain, though? Yeah, I thought so. So what I could do is then slightly raise this, right, which would obviously raise that little section just there. We'll then elevate from, let's go from here to there, and do the same this way. Just slightly raise all that. From there to there. there. I've got to do all these individually now, don't I? So they don't feel as silly anymore. And then we'll do a quick little bit of a terraform right now. Let me pause that. To squeeze or smooth all this off. We're smoothing off the edges. And again, we'll set up a proper harbour system for this. But that should work out fairly well. So the edges doesn't look as ridiculous anymore. Okay, great stuff. We got to get rid of the sand, but I'll do that. You know what, actually, I'll do that now while it's on my mind, because I'll kind of forget about that. Right, get rid of all the sand just down to here. There we go. Sweet. Okay, so we've got that in them. We're now going to build a couple of mines to start gathering the ore. And some of these are going to be quite large. So this is where I now need to connect all these roads up. You know, to really take advantage. So I'm going to come out by a 20 there. And where does that snap? It's a bit more difficult than you think. So we'll just kind of go from there to there. Beautiful. Alright, keep going. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So from that then we can do a couple of runs. So bring that out pretty much to here. We'll bring you out to there. And then we'll initialize. So is that a 10 by 10 almost? Oh snap. We can initialize a couple of these little kind of systems right now which we can work with. So that's a 30. If I went down by a 30 here, which is just there, I could pull up here by a 20. Now I'm not saying I'm going to get a 10 by 10 bend in. No, it's a 7 by 7, which I'll work with that. Oh, that's completely off. How did that even... What happened there? Is it more of a 6 by 6? Oh no, it's a lot smaller than that. Is it a 4 by 4? 4 by 3. Ah, so it's going to be a 3 by 3. It's only a short little bend. Create that run. I don't like it. I really don't like it. Alright, go about 5. 8 by 8. A bit better to work with. And then we'll kind of make these run up. And not really do much else. Okay, and there's good reason for that. Because I don't want to have everything all intertwined and connected, so I can then individually set my runs of road up. Right, okay. Sweet, sweet, sweet. So, we're going to start with the biggest ones first, and we'll go for these big, massive, large ore mines. And these are absolutely huge, hence why I want to be a little bit careful in where I kind of place these down. And why I need the space not to connect everything all up. So place those initially down there. I could then have a couple just going this way. So one there. One just there. Now these are absolutely huge, guys. So if you're driving down this highway system right now and you're like seeing those. Damn, they're monsters. They are quite big, aren't they? They are quite big. Now thinking about it, am I going to overload this road? Most likely. So what I'll do, I'll flip them on the other side instead. I'll flip them on that side to utilize that road to keep this road free as they're all coming out here. Right, so we'll just get those 4 down. I can also get some large underground mines. And this is where I'm going to place on this side. So 1, 2... And we'll do just 3 there. Again, I'm not going over the top. I'm kind of keeping it nice and simple. But we are trying to integrate everything around this area. We'll then place down some small underground mines. So this is where a little bit more of a road needs to come into play. So if I came actually from here, just like that, and just simply implemented it like that. There's no need to do anything additional. But if I just quickly do that to there, so I can then delete that strip and that strip, I can then place down a couple of small mines. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's slightly off placed. So these are perfect because they're small enough that they go under the highway, so you won't even know. I don't know if it's a bad idea to build a highway on top of a mine shaft. I don't know. They'll find themselves from a highway into a tunnel if it does collapse. I'm like Elon Musk creating tunnels right now. And then we got a couple of medium mines as well. So these are pretty fun to also place down. But it does now require me to build a little bit more of the road. So I'm going to run that down to here. And we'll run this one by a 15 just to kind of end that there. So we're still keeping this road here quite free to run. And we might make a faster speed limit on that road as well. So these medium mines are quite large. There we go. And then we can place down some of the smaller oil mines. So I'm going to squeeze one in just there. And this is where we then can start to dot around little bits and bobs. I feel like we need to save this little space over there for building wise, the production buildings. Place them down to there. So that is quite a lot that we're going to be excavating right now. And I think we should be pretty happy with that. We can also get a seabed mining vessel. Which, that's pretty cool, isn't it? That's, a pretty beast of an idea. It's just, where do I place it? I've got to place some in, haven't I? I've got to place 1 or 2 in. So I reckon we bring this down to here. So if I keep sticking to all of this, because we can utilize all of that, and then I should be able to get 1 just in there. So that will be dredging the bottom of the seabed for sweet, sweet ore. Okay, sweet. Okay, next we can move on to a little bit of storage then. So some ore storage, which this is quite the best way to pull it. Detrimental to traffic because it does create the need to sort out a lot of traffic alignment. So if I bring that to, I'm going to try and do something here where I can have a flow both sides, a 4x4 to then connect straight in. And I don't know if this is a good idea here to allow that to bend in. For then me to place down a simple ore storage just there. So we got a flow from a couple of different angles to bring in the goods. And then kind of the same, because I need a few of these leading down over here. I'm trying to think about the flow where this is going to go. Maybe over here would be a smarter idea. So if I placed 2 just there, that should be pretty handy. But now I need the actual production buildings in. So these are quite big. The fiberglass plant, these are quite big. I can do 1, 2, 3. Which I'm really going to have to sort out all this alignment out, don't I? Well, let's do what I did earlier. So slightly raise that up. Did it raise the middle road? There we go. Which, to be honest with you, doesn't really make much of a difference. In reality, I've just got to raise these. Is all I've got to do. So yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. So that'll work with 3 of these anyway, so that's pretty handy. And then the rotary kiln plants, which these are absolutely massive. So again, I'm going to bring the road down to a certain extent. Now I could connect with a nice little diagonal. Like that. You're missing out on the bend, but it will still work. I can get 1 plant just here. And I can squeeze another plant just alongside it there. So they're right on the edge. So you're going to see those as you're going past. You're going to know this area is heavily industrialized. And then we're squeezing another one just there. So it's basically 3 of each. Which is a lot less, right, than what I've been doing over here. But with a lot less, should be a lot less traffic, right? That is hopefully the idea of it. And I reckon we'll just get a couple of the smaller variations in. So if I planted down here, you there, and then down on the opposite side, you there. So that's 2 of the ones that produce glass, the glass manufacturing plants. And then we'll get 2 of the ore grinding. So again, it's all about the placement that you got to be a bit wary of. And then we'll get some of the different sized, the raw mineral storage. So these are a lot bigger, the storage facilities right now. And again, we're going to kind of bring this all out. So if I just run that into there just for now for like a sweet connection. I can add in there another storage facility. I don't want to put any too close around. There's a bit of space here to squeeze one in. And I think that's as much as I would want to do. Now I've got to provide water and power for this whole region. So we need to get the water all up and running. So I'll do it down to here, straight across. 22. Bam. 22. Bam. Now not all of this is going to play out. So we'll just do what we now need to do. We'll kind of go around the region. And then just get the little bits that now stick out. So that covers all that there. All down to there. So if you press play, I mean, I don't know if the power's all going to connect. It will for the majority of some of this, but not all of it. So what we'll do, we'll run some power lines alongside the highway. Just for that connection just here. And then for here, we'll run it up to there. And then for here, so it's a very basic area at the moment, which is going to still take a lot of work to get exactly where we want it. Now, we've got the highway connection. We have the train connection as well. So that will kind of play out for us to a certain extent. It should all have the power. Oh, you don't have the power. There we go. And we'll turn this on now as well. And we'll see what kind of... We'll see how much... how many issues this is going to cause. Right, this is going to be crazy. But at the same time, I'm also going to zone this area as a normal area. Because I want to place down some ore industry. Some ore zoned industry, I should say. So in the zoning right now, I need the ore... Bam. So one additional thing I need to double check is that we have enough ore resource down here. Now these are complaining about there's not enough raw materials. That's because it's got to get delivered to them. And there's not enough natural resources. Yep, I know. I know. Which is why I'm going to plant it all down. I might as well just cover all of this. So just want to naturally make sure that they've all got the ore, which there's actually quite a lot of ore around here. So we're okay on that aspect. We should be okay. So they've got these buildings here, have to wait for the resources to go over to them. But naturally, they'll end up filling up the storage beforehand. So that's just their natural thing. Some of them will deliver, depending on who wants the goods. So let's get some industry down right now for some zoning. So we got loads of space to kind of utilize. So I don't mind filling up too much in certain areas. If I find it's going to be slightly handy. So this is fun. The fishing industry and the ore industry share the same peninsula. So we'll see how this goes. This is going to be like a working project right now. We'll just kind of see what happens. And we'll see how profitable it will become. So the industry itself, it's already $3,000 in profit, which it's always a tough indicator. It's best to check this one. Because this one will tell you that we are now... Yep, okay. It tells me the same thing. But you can see how well the industry is doing. The oil industry, nearly $100,000 a week in profit. That's crazy how much money that's making. I didn't realise we were doing that good with it. But give this time anyway to start importing and exporting, doing what it needs to do to get the goods skedaddled out of here. And we'll see. So it's got its own little highway connection. We'll give it time before we start seeing the ships arriving. Okay, there's one ship going right now, which is going out of the region. So we'll see what happens. We might see a lot of trains filtering their way down here, which will be kind of interesting. And my other idea is to make the train line, this train line, kind of go this way and then connect in, just so we can also export this way, because at the moment it can't. But again, we'll see. It depends if I start to see all the fishing exports coming over to this way, because they'll drive the goods over here. Which I think I see one here, don't I? Yeah, so that's going to the harbour, which I want to shorten that, and it would make it so much easier if they could utilise their trains instead, because it will reduce the vehicle traffic. But we'll see. Oh, yo! The amount of ships right now? You guys need to calm down. Now, we're getting trains over here is the most important thing. Our trains, I mean, I know it's going to take a while because they have to update the route. But once I see trains making their way down here and through here, and I know it works, then we're all good. So we'll see what happens anyway. We'll see what happens. So traffic is quite minimal at the moment. It is quite minimal. And I don't know if we're going to be producing enough goods. If I start to see that we're importing quite a bit, then we'll have to place down some more production buildings, that kind of aspect. But we just got to give it time. We just got to give it some sweet time right now. So, how is everywhere else doing right now? I know this junction had a little bit of traffic recently, but is it able to uphold? It had some issues because of this little section here. They were all making that right turn, and they kind of back up like that, as you can now see. So if I turn that into asymmetrical road to make them have double laneage, that might help out with the straight on left and rights. So we'll go with you. So if I just get this just right, so we'll make that the dedicated left turn. This goes straight ahead and to the right. That goes straight over. Now this will allow them to merge on both sides, because you just never know what's initially going to happen. So that should hopefully allow them to flow a few more vehicles in at once, and also make this junction here free flowing for those guys. So we can hopefully filter out a few more vehicles a little bit quicker. Because I noticed that on last episode, they were backed up all the way coming down here. I'm not sure if that was the initial filling up these warehouses traffic. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. But simple little fixes like that kind of make me slightly happy. Okay, sweet mate, sweet. Are we seeing lots of ships coming in right now? Do you know what? We might not see that many ships. I might have nerfed it just enough where it doesn't become the dominant export route. Gotta get rid of the sand just on this bit. There we go. Happy days, happy days. There's a garbage truck just leaving the area. So yeah, this should work out fairly well for us then. So we're now up to still 2,800. Are they still filling up the... Oh, no ore's been filled up just yet. What's going on, guys? Are you producing the ore yet? Are you being too lazy? Do we have the workers is the question. Okay, we don't have that many workers. So we're going to have to kind of slightly grow the population a little bit. Ah, okay. Okay. So let's do a little bit of a population boost. So there's rural roads. That comes straight down from there. So we'll continue this. We'll do it around here. Because we have the metro system just there. I'll bring this straight up. Bring you straight up. And I'm going to place down some high density residential. Beautiful. Does not have all the water. But guess what? It does now. Just to kind of grow the population a bit. I know it's a bit far for them if they want to get jobs here, but it will spread the population around anyway. Okay, glorious, glorious, glorious. We just need more workers over here. I bet there's a lot of jobs available, isn't there? There's 9,000 more jobs than people employed. Whew. Okay. I mean, we do have public transport to just here. So I think at some point we need to create like a little bit of a miniature bus route going around to kind of collect the fools. Now, are we seeing trains arrive yet? Not yet. Now, I know it is connected. I'm just wondering when they want to start using it. They might not use it, to be honest with you. You just don't know. You can never judge. You can never judge. But let's see this coming in. So this comes into there. Right. Something I want to check out then is obviously... Oh! Okay, this is interesting. So obviously they're bringing a train full of ore in. Because these guys around here are going to see this is the easier import-export because it's the shortest distance. Over driving to there for it to be trained out. Right, okay. I get the idea behind that. But does nobody want to export via... Right, let me wait for another truck to come out. Right, where are you going? Returning to the facility. Yeah. It's quicker for them to drive over to here to then ship it out rather than going to there and let the train do the rest. See, that's where the nerfing kind of slightly works in your favor but slightly doesn't work in your favor. So, that, I mean, we could utilize an additional... Because that's the reason I made this straight bit here. I could do another V coming off in either direction to place down another import-exports. So, it's all just about understanding how this system's going to work. But I'm surprised no one's training it in down to here. Just watching this train right now. That also comes in as well. But, you know, very interesting. Very interesting, boys. So it is all connected. All comes down, straight down to there. No issues, no problems. I'm just surprised. Did I nerf it that much, you reckon? Maybe I did. Maybe I did. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, it's not a big issue because it's not being overwhelmed, so we're kind of getting away with whatever the issues are. So it all helps. It's all pretty much handy. It's all pretty much handy. So did that work out in its favor? Yeah, there's no more issues appearing from over there, which is good to see. I'm quite happy with that. We're starting to make some money then, I believe. We're up to 3,700 in profit. Not the big dollar bills I was expecting, but I feel like I need to grow the population a bit more. I think I'm slightly underwhelmed with not... Okay, oh, we've employed an extra 100 people. That's cool to see. Employed an extra 100 peeps right now. But I might need to produce more as well, because these aren't really getting their goods, are they? It just could be down to the fact that I just don't have enough people working at these mining facilities. I need a population boom, guys. I need a population boom, and it will just take time to kind of get that. It will just take time. So we're closing 100,000 anyway. We probably need another 100. We probably need another 10,000 people before the whole island's back in business. But yeah, interesting. But this is the start. This is the start of something beautiful. So I think we'll end it here, guys. There's no need for me to build any more jobs at the minute because I need more people living here. So that's what we'll focus on in the next coming episodes. I hope you did enjoy this. If you did, smash the like button down below. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, good.